got the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, Radford pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk.
Hey, good morning. How's everybody doing? It is Hump-Day here on the program. And I guess everywhere, not just, here on the program, but Wednesday everywhere. We're loaded today. Keon Brown joins us. We'll talk some hoops. Damien Sordelett joins us as well. And from the Roanoke Times. David Teel. And then the director of athletics at James Madison, Matt Roan. Wow. It's pretty big. And as always, I want to hear from you in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Hit us up there or on the Professional Dual Incorporated text line at 540-391-0788 as we bear down for the horribleness this weekend. Appreciate everybody who reached out. It's nice. A lot of people. About my not feeling great. Didn't have a great day yesterday, I'll tell you that. A little better this morning in terms of being able to clear my head a little bit. I have no choice. I have to drive to Winthrop today. Highlander Hoops tonight. If you are so inclined. A little half-hour earlier start, which I love, down at Winthrop, 6:30 tip-off. And then the Tech game is 9 o'clock, so you can get a doubleheader of Radford and Tech tonight, some NRV hoops. Big game against Winthrop. Both of the teams right now all tied for first in the loss column with one loss, High Point, Radford, and Winthrop. So a big one tonight. NRB Thunder says he's getting an old 96er for the smoker this weekend. Yeah, let me know if you find one. It's true. Either you find a place who can put all that together, or you can just fix 96 ounces of steak and it would count the same. I guess you could do that, right? What's up, Morris? From the frozen fields of the New River Sports Complex to the Miami Hurricanes post-game nonsense. Now on to the NCAA making simple matters complex. BDST is live and online. Yes, all those things are true. All of those things are true. I mean, it might be tough to find a place nearby that would have a 96er challenge. So you might just have to do it yourself. That wouldn't be a bad video for the channel, would it? I don't know when it would be, when the weather's warmer and you have a day or two after to recover. That might be something you could just film. You could just watch the grill going. Here's everything that I have to eat. 96 ounces. Show the packaging to prove the ounces. And do my own 96er, since you can't buy a piece of steak, at that size. Thanks, Morris. Well, the drugs help. Yeah, the drugs help. I was in my office at Radford yesterday, and I was preparing for the game. I made it to about midday, which was cool, but I recalled myself. I realized I don't know if I just kind of passed out, but I was sitting there preparing, and I was on a sentence, and then it was like 20 minutes later, I looked up, and the sentence was still blinking. And I guess I just kind of said, yeah, I better just pack up. And then Jason Green in Family Fencing, I work with his wife, Nicole, and I was walking by and I said, yeah, I'm heading home. So then I got home, laid down, and it was a blissful, 4 or 5 hours of just collapse. And that helped, but then you start to feel bad. But it's better today. And look, it's going around, man. Y'all be careful. It's going around. A lot of people I know have it in my neighborhood, people I work with. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. But hey, it's winter. Hey, Prometheus, what's up? Yeah, you need to get the fire going. 11 degrees in Pearisburg. I have not looked. Let's see what it is today in Reiner. We are at 18. We got you beat, brother. We got you beat. We are at 18 this morning. Woohoo! Before the devil shows his ugly hand in the form of snow this weekend. I'm waiting until Myatt's latest forecast. You're hearing all sorts of stuff. And you just kind of go, just wait. Problem is, it's apparently going to start fairly early on Saturday. We're supposed to have a doubleheader. I don't know how that's going to work. So today, when I go down to Winthrop, I'm meeting the Big South Conference. They're bringing our new video equipment to the Coliseum because the offices are very close. And I'm going to ask the question, what's the emergency protocol? Because you have two teams coming into town. They're not going to make it home Saturday night. I mean, there's not even a question. So that means they'd have to stay an extra night. Who's paying for all that? I mean, a lot of things come into play this time of year. Hey, we got live sword. That's not true. That's not true. That's just not true. But welcome to live chat. You were in Pearisburg yesterday. What are you doing in Pearisburg, TLB? It is beautiful, isn't it? 48 in Palm Coast, Morris says. 48? How in the world do you have 48? It's awesome. Awesome. $18 to $24. Well, that's not what I heard. I'm not going to buy 2 feet of snow until I hear it from Myatt. I know one thing, if that happens, I mean, again, you have absolutely nothing. What's up, Rangeley? Northern Lights show in Maine last night. It's no degree. It's 0 in Maine. Is it really? Wow, you wake up to 0. We had a couple of days like that, didn't we, a few weeks ago? And I'm just going to go on record to say again, nobody needs that kind of weather. We just don't need it. -8 on Saturday. Whoa, high temperature. Sorry to hear that, brother. They're not freeze my newly planted lime and lemon trees. Uh-oh, you're in trouble, Morris. Yeah, Pearisburg's a beautiful place, man. It is. It is. We had a farm in Eggleston. It is. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. By the way, I typed it in. I'm going to kill the snow and bug myth. Here's what I typed in. I said, so AI, tell me about snow, heavy snow, and does that help reduce the bug population? While some insects are frozen and eliminated in frosty weather, many more benefit from a thick bed of snow. The snow cover acts as an insulated blanket and protects more than it destroys. A heavy snow cover actually helps to provide a nice shelter for any insects overwintering outdoors. And a mild winter and early spring can be more deadly to insects than a long, cold winter. All I heard from various people was that the snow kills bugs. That is incorrect, according to AI. That is more correct. Yeah, you are. You're close to the Canadian border, Rangeley. Yes, you are. So there you go. There you go. You could not pay me enough money to live up where you are. Nothing against your fine state. I've been there a couple times, but I'm not a winter guy. So there you go. Insect insights. Yes. Jed, correct. So I don't want to hear anymore about how the snow kills bugs because apparently it does more to protect them. I talked to our folks at the radio station, and they have a meteorologist. He was saying that the high end of what we're going to get is 8 to 10 inches. It's too early, I think, for people to really know. I think it's a premature amount type of prediction. I think people just love to hype this thing up. I don't know why. I'm waiting on Kevin White. He posted 22 hours ago. 22 hours ago. And, it was the same thing I said yesterday, actually, that the growing odds of 6+ inches. And he'll review it. I'm guessing he'll have an update today. And then we'll see how it all plays out. But in any event, not going to be a fun weekend. I don't know how it affects. Thank you very much. Thanks for the Smith Creek forecast. Oh, this is great. This is great. There it is. I don't know if you can see that. Big Dog loves snow. Not true. That's awesome. There's a deep metaphor in the snow helping the insects when people assume it will hurt them. Yeah, I know. I just read it. It does not hurt them at all. As a matter of fact, it makes them flourish. And I remember that growing up on the farm when very seldom did we have mild winters, but Dad would always say that heavy winters usually produce more bugs. So it's not true. It's not true. So now there's zero reason to have 2 feet of snow. Zero. Other than you just want total destruction and not being able to function as a human society. Somebody needs to help me understand. Hey, good morning, Rodney. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. But anyway, we're loaded today, man. We got 4 outstanding guests if you missed us. We got Keon Brown, Damien Sordelett, David Teel, and Matt Roan. We will get the final word on the whole Virginia Tech canceling the JMU series from Maddie. Living on the land is the best education for natural science. Correct. Correct. Growing up, as many people did, a lot of people, on a farm and being out in nature and understanding how the weather worked, and you recognize things and cloud cover, what it means. And like, for instance, here's what you're going to know. Here's the biggest cloud. You want to hear the simplest sign about how screwed we're going to be? And it's always right. If you're driving home from work, after work on Friday, or if you're out really early Saturday before it starts and you see more deer than usual grazing, we are utterly screwed. My dad swore by that. And that's what I look for. Apparently, they sense the barometric pressure changes several hours beforehand, and they know what it means this time of year. So they're trying to fill up. They're overeating. They're grazing as much as possible because they know it's about to be very difficult for them to do so for a while. So if you see deer out more than usual, just know that we're going to get the high end of whatever is predicted. There you go. A little farm education. Good morning, Christopher Lester. What's up? Yes, we are a family. Thank you. We are a BDST family. We really are. Chris, thank you for promoting us yesterday. We're getting close to 800. Trying to get to 1,000. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. It's fun, and we try to talk about our obviously regional area sports and other things, but we can cover it all. We don't have any kind of limitations here. Jed says he lives in Tornado Alley, and the birds will tell you when things are about to get really bad. Yeah, absolutely. Coach Omation says, I will trust your deer theory before I trust the Weather Channel. Thanks, Coach. I'm just saying. Yeah, the deer have the best instincts, right? This is what I say this a lot, and I think I've said it here before. I'll never understand why they have so much trouble about the roads. They can hear a twig snap 200 yards away and be on the alert. They can get a slight breeze in the air and smell if a human or a predator is getting near, and they will flee. Yet they haven't figured out the pavement and vehicles, and they try to cross the road right in front of us. It's the most confounding thing. And I never thought about it until I was raised with it. My dad would say they'll never figure this out. Something seems to draw them to the road. Yeah, I saw that Thunder. Carson Beck's just a toolbox, man. What regions, Jet? Southeast, we know ACC, SEC. We covered all college football, college basketball. We're in Virginia Tech, ACC territory, but we have NFL correspondents. We have, when you listen to Keon Brown, our basketball correspondent, in about 15 minutes, he'll be better than anybody that you hear. David Smith talking about the NFL. You name it. If you sit and watch our people today, you'll know. We have good people. Good people. But I don't understand why Deere can't figure it out. It'll never make sense to me. I'm seeing more and more on the side of the road. I mean, they hit you. You don't hit them. There's nothing you can do to avoid them. You just hope the damage is as minimal as possible to your vehicle. It doesn't cause you to wreck or hit somebody else. And I just don't understand. I hate it. I hate it. We want to thank Bob Christ and the Ready Set Fund. They want to help you raise money for your charity or organization, your sports team, ReadySetFund.com. Give them a yell. Let them help you. Professional Door Incorporated, residential commercial garage doors, family owned and operated for 38 years, thanks to Travis Williams. Travis and I were going to meet yesterday to get his shirt, and I said, man, you don't want to meet me today, brother. Let's do this when I'm not. And I had a pretty high fever when I got home yesterday, too, which was kind of frightening. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of BDST, Larry Ramsey. My exclusive banking partner for 35 years. They're the best. Ryan Pry, the attorney. Ryan is on West Main Street in Radford, 701. Trust and estate planning. What are your 3 items when you're in panic mode at the grocery store? What are your 3 items you're going to buy, not including bread and milk? That's our question. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. Charles Lee and Company. Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. And I got a text, by the way, from Jonathan Sweet last night. I was already asleep. I was passed out. So this is great news. And I'm going to read it right now, Mr. Sweet. And we were talking about how wonderful these folks are. The International Hot Rod Association announced it has entered into a lease agreement for the Pulaski County Motorsports Park in Radford. Technically, it is in Radford, I guess. The landmark venue, long known to racers and fans as the Motor Mile Speedway, will be marking a major step in IHRA's mission to revive grassroots motorsports and reinvest in legendary community tracks. How about that? Congratulations, Jonathan and Tim and everybody up there. That is awesome. You know, the track first opened in 1952 as a dirt oval. The facility evolved into one of the region's most recognizable racing destinations. The oval was later paved and developed. Under the IHRA's lease, Pulaski County Motorsports Park will once again become a year-round heartbeat for competitive racing, special events, and community engagement. Pulaski County Motorsports Park will serve as a cornerstone venue for the newly launched IHRA Stock Car Series. Man, oh man, oh man. Jonathan Sweet, his comment, Pulaski County is excited to welcome IHRA in such a big way to our community and to partner with them at the Pulaski County Motorsports Park to bring world-class drag and oval track racing back to the New River Valley. Congratulations. I'm telling you. I'm going to tell him right now because I didn't see his text last night because I was asleep. And we're going to get him on to discuss But anyway, how about that? Thanks to Lawson's Mobile Home Supply since 1997. Give James a call, 540-381-8011. We hope we're still going to be able to do the NRV Super Bowl meetup on Friday. I don't know the timing of all this yet. It seems to keep inching upwards. We'll see. But 382-5525 at the NRV Super Bowl. They have done a whole lot of cool things there. Glow-in-the-dark bowling, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. every Friday and Saturday. So it's really cool stuff, man. Really cool stuff. Mark Hundley, McClellan Chiropractic, thanks to him over off of Peppers Ferry Road, sponsor of our chat room. And I mentioned Jason and Family Fencing, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrv.com. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let me get caught up on chat here. Oh, no, TLB, I'm so sorry. You lost your Chihuahua. 19 years. It's a family member, man. Thoughts up, brother. So sorry. Hey, Jed, you're an OU fan and a Bears fan. 2 great seasons ending in heartbreak. Yeah. But your Bears look like they're on the way up, though. NRB, yeah, the salt that does no good on the roads. Yeah, applied to roadways attracts deer during winter weather. Well, rest in peace, Delilah. It's a great life, 19 years. Sucks, man. Getting there, Chris, a little better because I can hear myself talk better today. Fever went down. I got home yesterday, and I knew I was hot. And I just, for giggles, I checked it. It was like 103. Like, really? 103? So I drugged up and just collapsed for about 5 hours. Yeah, I remember, Prometheus. I think you mentioned that about your pit bull. Do I need to do a wellness check on our old friend Frankie with the Hurricanes losing? I think Frankie checked in. Maybe that was Monday, but yeah, I don't know if we've heard from him or not. Yeah, what great news. Jonathan Sweet. Jeez Louise. Presenting sponsor of this program, just getting it done. Lining them up and knocking them down, man. Amazing. Amazing. Everybody who's why is that not working? Here we go. On the professional door text line, Radford's in Rock Hill, South Carolina tonight. Sorry. And that's where I'll be headed. It's a straight shot. I mean, it is literally, you have to get through Charlotte, unfortunately. And you can't veer off, unfortunately. Hang on. I do apologize in advance for the coughing. That has not completely gone away. But it's a straight shot. Not quite 3 hours. Go through Charlotte into South Carolina. I want to say it's like the third exit on the right. The Winthrop Coliseum. Place that I like. It's an older Coliseum, but it's kind of cool. Kind of cool. So that's where I'll be going tonight. Oh, heck yeah. We'll better believe it, Wayne. We'll hook up with Jonathan, get out there. We'll do the show from the drag races. That'd be awesome. Heck yeah. We'll sit up there in the press box. Prometheus says, I drag raced with my dad for 20 years. Still love watching. Reminds me of dad. Yeah, we need to get Matt Hagan on here. Guys, I'm sorry. Hang on. When you have a cold and you're dealing with all that, you can't stop it all. So try to make this as less disturbing and gross as possible. But yeah, welcome to all the new people in chat. And please subscribe and share the channel. That's great news. Great news from Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. Just unbelievable work that they're doing, man. It's just, they are an inspiration. They are. 100% they are. Hey, that's cool, Wayne. Wayne sent me the grease, the drag racing grease scene. Hey, what's going on? There he is, Keon Brown, joining us on the program. Hi, what's up, KB? How are you, man?
Rick Watson, what's going on, brother?
Well, trying to battle through this dreaded, I don't know if it's a flu bug, a bad cold bug, whatever it is. It hit me pretty
everybody's
hard.
getting crushed with that.
Isn't it? It's just everywhere.
It's that time of the year, though. We know about it.
It is. We know about it. And when you're in basketball season, there's not much you can do but to keep going forward.
Yeah, man. There's nothing.
How you been? Everything good?
Man, I woke up this morning. I have a complaint already. Dude, I have a game today at Longwood, a game tomorrow at Mount St. Mary's, and my barber just canceled on me.
Your barber canceled?
Yes.
What's wrong with your barber? Is he sick?
I don't know what's wrong with him. But now I have to find somebody else to cut my hair last minute. This is going to be a rat race. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how. This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
this is
that's
ridiculous.
Stressful. I get that. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
You got to trust somebody else. You don't know.
Yeah,
them.
And you already know how that goes. My God.
No, nobody wants that.
It's going to be a long morning, dude.
Fortunately, I don't really have to worry about it anymore. Mine's just the buzz cut. But,
oh my gosh.
Well, let's go through some hoops here. Let's start with our league, the Big South. It's as we kind of thought. Asheville's probably been the one disappointing team so far, but you have High Point, which is having some controversy with its roster right now. Winthrop and Radford all sitting there with one loss in a massive game tonight down in Rock Hill between our Highlanders and the Eagles.
Well, it's a huge game. It's basically a battle for first place, to be tied with first place. And at the same time, what I like to call the Big South is positive parity. It is what it is. Every night, it doesn't matter from the top to the bottom, it's always going to be a battle. Gardner-Webb had Winthrop down by 20, and Gardner-Webb's probably the worst Division I team in college basketball. I mean, you can make the argument for that. They have not been that good. I love Coach Luther, but it is what it is. I have to do a job. I have to say they haven't been very good. And that's who Longwood plays today. So you look at those guys, but they're still competitive in some games. Now you go to the top. You talk about High Point. Everybody said that they were world beaters. There were people before the season saying High Point could be a team that if they do not win the Big South tournament, that they can get an at-large bid. You heard talkings of that before the season. That's how
which will never happen.
You lose Kessa Jiffa, you lose Kamani Hamilton, Jeslyn Bodobo, and then you say that? I don't get it. Whoever said that was just trying to get clicks, I guess. In a league like the Big South, like you said, it won't happen. You don't win the tournament, you don't go dancing. It's that simple. Winthrop, who Radford plays today, is going to be so tough because they have a big that's dominant. They have shooters outside of him that can knock it down, and then they're playing at home. So it's going to be another tough game for Radford. Radford's doing well as well, but you live by the three, you die by the three. You go up big versus Longwood, and then in the second half, it's a whole nother story. The defense takes a step back. The shooting takes a step back from what it did in the first half, and then it's a tie ball game and a miracle layup at the buzzer to win the game. UNC Asheville, I wasn't always that high on them. I love Coach Morrell. And I love Toya Solomon, but it's just something missing from them. And I thought they would have problems coming into the season. And I'm not saying they're not having problems. They just aren't doing what everyone else thought that they would do because of history of the program. And I never thought that they would be as good as they've been in the past, even though they had the preseason player of the year. And then you got Charleston Southern and Sodden Emily, who can beat anybody. That's the team that nobody wants to play come tournament time in Johnson City. It's Charleston Southern and Sodden Emily. Nobody wants to play them. They just don't. They're playing really good basketball, especially when they're at their best and they're knocking down tray balls. And then, you got the rest of the league. USC Upstate, up and down season. They're okay. But positive parity in the Big South, always competitive. You got to play hard every night or you'll lose. That's simple.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what you'll see tonight out of Gardner-Webb. You're going to have, by the way, they're going to have 6 scholarship players. Everybody else is hurt. You're going to have 2 walk-ons, but you watch. They'll play hard for Coach Luther. They will. They'll play hard. But, it's a big one tonight. Winthrop, the biggest team in the league. They have the best rebounding team in the league. So it's going to be interesting to see. Mark Prosser does a great job.
He does.
We'll see. If Radford's hitting shots, they're tough to beat.
Yeah.
But as you said, it's been a defensive problem, for Radford. I mean, Gardner-Webb, that team you're going to see tonight, scored 80. Yeah. You have to outscore Radford to beat them. But, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, at times it seems like Radford doesn't care about defense, though. It's like you score, all right, we'll get it off the net and bring it up the court in 3 seconds. It's like I forget who it was like. It was like the Phoenix Suns and Mike D'Antoni. Who cares if you score? We'll just come down and
it would come down and try to score.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was D'Antoni.
Yeah. He didn't care about. He literally didn't care about defense. It was like we just run you up the game.
No, he didn't care.
Yeah.
He didn't care. Christopher Lesser's asking, how much do y'all pay for a haircut? He says he pays $100 every 2 weeks.
Absolutely not. There's no way. I'll go to YouTube and learn how to cut it myself before I pay that. Probably the most I'll pay is half of that. That's
I don't pay anything.
Yeah, I got you.
Mine just happens pretty easily.
Yeah, that is amazing. 100, but that's 2026 prices. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's why they always have time slots because it costs so much. You can book with those guys anytime you want.
I liked your answer. I'll go online and learn how to cut it myself.
Yeah, there you go. I got to do something today. I have to though. I like. Come on now. Come on, man.
Yeah,
you're the day of 2 games back to back. Come on, yeah, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Which game you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Mount St. Mary's, and it's their first game on the network. I was telling you about that does the Wizards Monumental. That's on Monumental. So the whole state of Virginia and some of DC, well, all of DC, Maryland, some of North Carolina, up to New Jersey will be able to watch it. So I got to do something. If not today, definitely tomorrow. But I'm planning on getting something done by 12 o'clock today.
You'll get to see our old friend Donnie Lynn then.
Yeah, I'm excited. They got a Quinnipiac.
Tell him Rick said, hey, he was on the show.
I got you. Yeah, he was on the show last Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. They're playing better now, just like I knew they were.
They're playing much better. Yeah, they're playing much better right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they're the hunted now. That's what it is. They got a lot of about 3 guys back. And Xavier Lipscomb, the former Highlander, is playing well. He's built like an outside linebacker still, and he's playing well. And now when you play Mount St. Mary's, they got the title, so everybody wants to beat them regardless. That's what comes with winning the championship, though. They circle that date.
He pulled a Signetti. I mean, you think about it. He went there last year. They were picked dead last.
Yes.
In the MAAC, and he wins the whole thing and goes to the NCAA and wins a game in Dayton.
Yes, I remember you and I was texting about that. Like, could you believe that this was happening?
They were picked dead last. So, yeah, he did his own little version of Signetti before there was a Signetti. All right, ACC. Duke is right now the chase, right? That's what everybody's doing. Carolina had a bad West Coast trip. Looked bad.
They surely did.
Is anybody going to beat Duke? Virginia, you don't know about Virginia. You don't trust them. Tech is up and down. What do you think?
If it's anybody, it's Virginia. Louisville just doesn't have Keon Brown. That's their problem. That's their only problem. If they had him, they'd be probably right there with Duke. He does so much. He's so dynamic as a point guard. He's probably a guy that's going to be a top 5 pick. Well, I'll say top 10 pick because other guys are playing better since he's been out. He'll be top 10 NBA draft pick. They need him, but Duke and Cameron Boozer, and he's the National Player of the Year. He'll be the National Rookie of the Year. He'll be the ACC Rookie of the Year. He'll be the ACC Player of the Year. He's unbelievable. He really is. And then his brother Caden is starting to enter the starting lineup. But Duke hasn't had just a dominant win where I say that they're a team that's guaranteed a Final Four slot. We know the committee's going to give them the easiest side of the bracket. We know that. That happens every year. So they have that going for them, but at the same time, the rest of the ACC just doesn't have enough right now. I said it before the season. I'm not high on North Carolina, and I'm still not high on them. Now there's rumblings about Hubert Davis being on the hot seat. We've heard that the last 2 years, starting the year when they went to the Final Four preseason #1 and didn't even make the tournament. But now folks are tired of what's going on in Chapel Hill. And the thing that's wrong with North Carolina is they don't have a point guard. But you want to know something, Rick? They had a point guard, and you and I saw him up close and personal. His name was Elliot Cadeau.
Yeah.
And now he's at Michigan. And now Michigan's arguably the best team in college basketball. And he's playing the best basketball of his career. You had a point guard. He was right there, and you guys ran him out. Now look what that gets you. Now he's a junior doing everything for Michigan that you thought he'd do for North Carolina. That's what's going on with North Carolina. They're not a good program right now. I know the aura, the mystique of North Carolina, but it's just not the same. You know who the last all-star to play for North Carolina was?
The last All-Star? Oh,
yeah.
wow.
This is some good BDST trivia.
You mean like All-American or?
No, All-Star. The last All-Star
No,
to play in the NBA All-Star game that went to North Carolina.
Oh, my goodness gracious. The last All-Star to play at North Carolina.
Yeah.
In the NBA. That's a really good question. Who would it be?
Vince Carter.
Yeah.
Vince Carter. Vince Carter played in North Carolina in the 90s.
Wow. Yeah, something's missing in that program with Hubert Davis. You're right.
Now come on now. Yeah, man.
Something's missing there.
It's just,
did they run Cadeau out, or did he just?
They ran Cadeau out. The fans ran him out. The Tar Heel faithful ran him out. Social media ran him out. He's gone now. They wanted him to be Kyrie Irving in the snap of a finger. What Kyrie Irving did in 9 games at Duke while he was there, they wanted him to be that. And you and I had his first collegiate game. His first collegiate game was against Radford. And even then, there was so much pressure on him to come in and just be the lead man, the Ty Lawson, the Kendall Marshall of the old point guards, the Joel Berrys. That's who they wanted immediately as soon as he stepped on campus. And it was too much for him. And he's out. Now he's doing at Michigan what you thought he'd do at North Carolina, dominating.
Yeah. He's good.
Yeah.
It looks like what, Michigan and Arizona right now?
Those are the two. Those are the two.
Yeah. Well, you look at Tech. They're starting to get healthy finally. Yep. You know, I mean, it's not an excuse, but they lost several guys and they tried to play through it as tough as they could.
Yep.
Neo is struggling.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but he doesn't look the same as he did early in the year. The league wears down on you a little bit, and he's getting a learning lesson, isn't he? I think all of a sudden people aren't talking about him being a lottery pick anymore.
Yeah, it's slowly but surely fading, but he can turn that around in a snap of a finger. Every game is about 20 NBA scouts there to see him. So all it takes is one game. And nowadays in the NBA, they go more so off of potential than what you did on the court. So you can potential your way to the NBA. And I think that he'll, turn it around. But not even Dr. Strange could see 3 straight ACC losses the way that they lost coming for Tech to start. I mean, that's ridiculous. To lose to Wake Forest, to lose to SMU, to lose to Stanford the way that they did. Come on now. That's just bad luck. That's just the basketball guys being on the other team's side. I mean, Tech could easily be undefeated in an ACC play. It's that simple.
They could, but something Mike Jones said a long time ago, and you probably heard this too, as you played under him. If you keep losing games like that, though, it says a lot about your character. I know you could win them all, but if you keep on losing games in that scenario, there's also something missing there that coaches have to figure out. And Tech keeps losing those games, so that's something they got to get better at.
Especially the Stanford game when you're up big with 2 minutes to go. Let's just call it what it is. And then you end up losing that game. That's pretty much so on you. It really is. But I'm going to have to disagree with Coach Jones on that. Sometimes it just happens. It is what it is.
I'm going to tell him you said that.
You tell him. You have to. He's coached more basketball. He's coached basketball for so long. He's seen something that I haven't. But at the same time, sometimes it just happens. It doesn't go your way all the time, and that's the beauty of sports. It's how you learn, and it's how you move forward from it.
Well, you're right. And, I just as we get to this point, you and I talked about this a little bit last week. This is the best time of year if you're a college basketball fan.
Yes.
I mean, obviously the NCAA tournament's special, but this is the time of year you really start to figure out how you're going to look, how you're going to be, and what it's going to all look like come tournament time. This is what I like about college basketball. Conference play is just, you get through non-conference, it is what it is. Sometimes you have a big game, okay, but conference play, man, that's your bread and butter. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's only 6 weeks left until the mid-major tournaments start. So this thing is almost over. And you talk about mid-major tournament time, it is the best. Like we know about the ACC, the Big 10, the Big 12, all of that. Those teams are going to have multiple teams representing their league in the NCAA tournament. That's what's going to happen. It happens every year. It's inevitable. But when you get to the CAA and the Big South and the SoCon and the Atlantic Sun and leagues like that, what's going to happen is they're going to be fighting for their life, knowing that if I lose this game and we're one big league, our season is over. So you get the best basketball from the MAC tournaments, from the Big South tournaments, from the SoCon tournaments. It is what it is. It's great basketball. If you don't enjoy this time of the year, I just don't know what to tell you. This is a time where you should be going this way. And if you're going this way, it gets bad really quick for you. It'll be here in the snap of a finger. It's so amazing how quick the basketball season goes. You go through the non-con, like you said, and by this Christmas time, it's conference time. And now you look up and it's January, what is it, the 21st. And now, next week pretty much is February. And then, you have to play your best basketball in February, heading into March, heading into tournament time, where it's over for you and your squad. Amazing how quick it is.
Prometheus asked, why aren't there any true point guards anymore? Well, there are in our league. Big South is dominated by point guards. I mean, that's really what it is.
Now they changed the name of it. It's called the league guard, pretty much.
Yeah, they're trying to, evolve.
Yeah, that's what it is. Positionless basketball. The league guard is pretty much, there's so many versatile players that if you can get the defensive rebound, just go. And if one of these two guys, if you're the big who typically takes the ball out, if one of these two guys are right there, just give it to them. They can bring the ball up. The offenses now are so interchangeable, and players have so much autonomy to be able to change, the plays on the fly, to read the defense and react, that offenses are basically set, and the players are dictating what's happening on the court. There's still some half-court sets where you have to get guys off curl screen, off down screens, but at the same time, it's basically, as a player, what you see out on the court, and the other four players have to react to it. That's all it is. That's why it's positionless now.
Yeah, it's like Dale Jones. He's the Big South Player of the Week for Radford. He's the point guard, but yet he's the best pure scorer on the team. Yeah,
he's been unbelievable. He's been really good.
So, it makes sense. So I get what Prometheus is saying. Yeah. I mean, that's just where we are, unfortunately. Yep. Do you think after they expand this tournament, they're going to ruin the NCAA tournament probably next year? I don't know what it's going to look like, 70-some. Eventually they want to get it to 90-some. I mean, it's just going to totally water it down. You think at that time that's when the Big South could seriously say that they could get two bids? Because they're going to run out of teams at some point. I know they want to do that for the power leagues, but –
I can see that. But at the same time, I think that what's going to happen, I don't think High Point is going to be in the Big South that much longer.
I think they keep saying that. But
they keep saying that something keeps happening.
But I don't know where they would go. I don't know where they would go. They don't have football, and they don't have softball. Yeah. Softball's the fastest rising women's sport in the country. And then they can implement softball pretty quickly at High Point, given their financial capabilities. But outside of, the men's basketball program, I'm not sure what league would look at them and say, okay, we're going to bring them in as just basketball.
Yeah, every other sport besides basketball is the Atlantic 10, right?
Yeah, I think so.
If I remember correctly, I think so. Now I'm trying to picture them in the Atlantic 10 playing the George Masons and the Richmonds and the VCUs.
Look at the travel.
And the Chicagos. Yeah, that's what it's not that bad when you think about it. The George Masons, the Richmonds, the VCU. You can go up to Philly at LaSalle and St. Joseph's. St. Louis is out there. St. Bonaventure's, New York. The A-10 is not that bad for High Point. It's really not. This is good to think about. If I had to pick a league off the top of my head right now when we're just discussing it, I'd probably say the Atlantic 10. Travel's not that bad. The farthest you're going is St. Louis. Yeah.
But that league, all of a sudden, they become middle of the pack.
They become middle of the pack, yeah.
Whereas in the Big South, there's their ticket to the NCAA.
Yeah, but so many people talk about High Point, and every year in the Big South, they've only won one conference tournament.
I know, last year.
So it's like, last year. It just happened. Hasn't
the
even
only
been a full
time
year.
that they've won it. That's right. Yeah. People are like, really? I said, yeah, they've never won it.
Yeah. But you go to social media, or you watch the shows on TV, and they're talking about mid-major basketball, and they talk about High Point. You swear that they were the Gonzaga of the Big South. Right? You swear that.
Yeah, for the last 5 years, I've heard, they're going to be leaving this year.
Yeah,
like, okay. No, they're not. Okay. Keep telling me that. Well, we will see. I think some schools are starting to wise up to this whole. They look at one former Big South member, Campbell.
Yep.
They left the Big South all for football.
Yep.
And they are regretting it. I talked to a lot of people down there, and the travel expenses are exceeding anything they ever imagined. They want back in the Big South. They made a huge mistake. Grass isn't always greener.
Yeah.
And football, at that level, I know it's great. You have football, but boy, you got to be careful. I think the ceiling is pretty solid on where a program like that can gain momentum with its football program.
Yeah, because they're in the CAA right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's some close schools to them, but I can see that for Campbell anyway. Yeah,
for Campbell, yeah, I think they'd come back in a heartbeat.
For us, for me, Campbell was the worst trip in the Big South. I used to hate going to Campbell. It was so far away from Radford.
Bowie's Creek.
Yeah, like my goodness, you were never there. Like,
yeah, it's true. It's a lot of side roads. That's true.
My goodness.
Yeah, you're right. It's about 4 or 5 roads, isn't it? Yeah.
Man, it took like 5.5 hours to get there. Sometimes it took longer to get there than it did to get to Myrtle Beach. We were playing against Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina, yeah. Because at least that's a straight shot.
Yeah.
Charleston's the same way.
I mean, man. Like, goodness gracious. And don't lose to them, because it's going to be the longest bus ride in the history of the Big South. Like, gosh. But I don't think we hardly ever lost to Campbell, especially at Campbell. I think Campbell's one of the teams we always beat when I was there. High Point was the team we always beat. Even though they had John Brown, I think we only lost to High Point 2 times in my 4 years.
Yeah. Coach Jones always had High Point.
In the history of Radford basketball, we had the best team to never win the title.
I know.
We really did. It's like
it's
so crazy to think about.
Campbell, though, had the best arena in the league when they
at the time, What about Liberty?
Well, I don't know. They were out of the league when they put the new place up.
Yeah, even the old one, though.
The Vine Center?
Yeah.
I like the Vine Center a lot. Yeah. It's a great game. It's a great venue to call a game in, the old Vine Center.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to give that one to Liberty.
Yeah. But I like
because they were during my time.
Yeah, during your time, yeah. But when Campbell upgraded, when Chris Clemens was dominating, that was a nice – I think that was the structure that I liked, the visiting structure I liked the most.
Yeah, there's some good venues in the Big South now. There really are. Talk about High Point is great. Longwood is great.
I don't like the High Point. I can't
you don't
stand
like? I love that one, man. I loved it.
I like your gym. I like your new gym at Longwood.
Longwood has a great one, yeah.
I like Asheville's is okay. I like
Asheville's pretty good, yeah. I remember, yep. My first year was their first year in that gym. My first year in Radford.
High Point is a ballroom that they make into an arena. The music's way too loud. There's no room for anybody to broadcast. They have you on an edge.
Well, yeah, because I called the tournament there one year. Yeah.
So I'm not as big on that place as a lot of people seem to be.
No, yeah, it could be better for the broadcasters for sure.
That's how I look at build. Exactly. That's
done.
how I judge it. That's how I judge it.
No, I can see that then.
Positioning?
Yeah, you're valid. You're valid, dude.
It's not good there. It's not good there. And the small gyms are small. They don't have a lot of personality. But even you go to Presbyterian, you go to Charleston Southern, they're right up on you, the crowds, especially at CSU. It's
Charleston Southern, yeah. It fits for them. Like that's one of the reasons. Presbyterian is the worst place in the Big South to play.
Yeah.
It's like, gosh, it's the true home court advantage. It's so dark in there. It's like, dude, you will fall asleep in there. That's why so many teams lose at Presbyterian. It's not anything the team did. It's that arena putting you to sleep. That's what it is.
Were you on the roster for Coach Jones? I was down there and we went to shoot around and there was a leak in the roof and they had a bucket.
No, I wasn't there for that one.
Maybe that was the car leak years. Yeah, they had a bucket in one of the corners because there was heavy rain.
Yeah.
They had to put a bucket on the court during our shoot around, like in the corner on the baseline. Yeah.
That's it. That's what the people only focus on the high major basketball don't know about the mid and low major basketball. They don't see that stuff. They don't understand it.
Yeah.
But I love the players that –
Yeah,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say he used the bucket as like a defender. Okay, everybody, buckets. It was great the way he handled it.
Yeah, you had to come off of the curl on the bucket.
Come off the curl at the bucket. Yeah. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, like, that's what I love about a Will Wade, right? He was at McNeese. If anybody says anything about McNeese where they're trying to belittle it, he goes off on them. He doesn't play about it. He's like, that's great basketball at those levels. He was at he was in SoCon too at Chattanooga. He was like, you guys don't understand what it goes to build good programs in leagues like the SoCon or the Southland. Yeah, I love Will Wade when he does that. Somebody always says something slick about it, and he just crushes them.
Yeah, your SoCon basketball is terrific.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it really is. It's student bodies get into it. It's yeah, you're right.
Yes.
I mean, I just hate that it looks like we're headed to kind of expand this thing for greed, like everything else is run by greed, and it's going to really, really water down what is the best sporting event we have in this country.
Of course it is, especially that first weekend. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. Or the first week. Yeah.
But the big boys are going to have their say. The power leagues will have their say.
Yep.
And boom. Hey, real quick before we let you go, Wayne's asking the best place that you ever play.
Off the top of my head,
away from Deadman, I guess. Away from Deadman.
One of the most underrated places that I've played was UNLV. Nobody talks about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
Is that the Thomas and Mack Center, I think it's called?
Thomas and Mack Center, yeah.
That's where the Team USA plays all their exhibitions at.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
That was a good one. I think I'm gonna go with that. Off the top of my head, definitely the Thomas and Mack.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
I love the history.
I know.
Yeah, and the aura of that Oregon State. You remember we went to Oregon State and beat Oregon State?
I know, man.
That was their old arena. Gym. I love that though because it was so old.
That was a cool gym.
Yeah.
I just remember people asking me, so what is a Radford?
Yep, what is a Radford?
What state are you in?
Yep. And then I played well in that game. And the guy was talking to me the whole game. And then every time I look at him, we're up 20 and we're up 25. And I kept looking at him. And it was just fun basketball. And then when that buzzer sounded, he stayed right there and shook my hand. I thought he was going to run away. Nope, he stayed and waited for me. I will never forget that.
With his Steph Curry impersonation the whole game.
Yep.
Could not miss.
Everybody, nobody could miss. That was a good game.
All right, my friend. Well, have a good call tonight. You're at home, and we'll keep you updated on the Radford-Winthrop situation.
I got you. We're going to see if we can figure out this haircut situation. That's priority number one.
That's the big news. Yeah, I want to know what's going on with your haircut.
I'll figure it out. I might have to make a PSA on Facebook because I'll be in Richmond in a few hours. Somebody, I don't know. I'm so anal about a haircut that I'm just like, my anxiety is through the roof right now. And I'm not an anxiety guy, but this is getting me.
But now you're stressed.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah,
well, let me know.
I got you, buddy. All right, buddy. Got you,
All right, brother. Be safe, man.
Right.
Talk to you. All right. Later, Keon Brown. Stressed about his haircut. What's up, Tanjeezy? Good to see you, brother. How are you? Good morning. Rick don't like Bojangles? What's Bojangles? Oh, the restaurant? Oh, I love Bojangles. What are we talking about here? Come on. Oh, the Bojangles Arena? Nah. Bojangles Arena, where we had the Big South tournament. Somebody make it make sense. Bojangles Arena. Guess who didn't cater it? Bojangles. I remember the whole time. And we were down there. I think Neil Leahy was with me. I remember the first time we were driving down for the first game. We spent the whole time in the van thinking, hey, you know what? You know what's going to be great about this tournament? We know we're going to eat well. We know we're going to eat well. Because we are getting Bojangles in the Bojangles Arena. And we go in there. First media meal. And we're told, no, there's no Bojangles. But that's the name of the arena. And I don't know what they had. Like bologna sandwiches or something like that. What? That's what it was. It was Nabs. They had baskets of nabs. Boxes of Little Debbie cakes and nabs. But it's named Bojangles Arena. Yeah, well, good luck with that. That's right, Chris. Yes, I believe that is correct. It's a hockey rink. And it was a hockey rink, and the ice was melted a lot, or the cold created condensation, and they had to stop the games. Of all the neutral site venues we've ever played the Big South tournament, it was by far the worst. Hey, we'd love to have a snow removal sponsor. Yes, they'd be great. Yes. But yeah. No, you're wrong, Tebow. There's nothing better than the Cajun filet biscuit. Now, I'm not talking about overall chicken quality. I'm talking about a morning breakfast biscuit. I will take the Cajun filet every day. Now, I do like some Popeyes. I do like that. I never had the ghost pepper wings, Tebow. Never had those. We got wing-educated audience. I love it. Yeah, it felt like it was 50 years old, Chris. Yeah, it did. All right, thanks, Keon. Damien Sordelett joins us, the Virginia Tech football beat writer for the Roanoke Times. What's up, Chris? What's up, Damien? How are you, man? Sorry, I was looking at the chat again.
Yeah, good morning. I didn't know I'd be coming into a chicken debate this morning.
Yeah, we got good stuff going on here. Well, I mean, they're all good, right? It just depends on what you like. Popeyes, Bojangles. I mean, what do you like when you're on the road? If you're driving up and you see one of the signs on the road sign, which one are you stopping at?
I'd stop at Popeyes because I don't get a chance to go there as often.
Well, that's true. Yeah, they're not really around where we are here.
Yeah. Yeah, and their stuff's good. Give me some of their spicy. Yeah. Give me some of their spicy chicken, and I'm good to go.
But I do want the Cajun filet biscuit in the morning from Bojangles. I love it.
I can't pass that up, and I'm a fan of their seasoned fries.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Put some of that mayo on there. I tell you what, man. We're sitting pretty. Wow. So Indiana pulls it off. They finish off this miraculous season. Miami in the end couldn't make the plays. Indiana did. Damon, you've done this a long time, man. You've covered it. We've never seen anything like this ever in any sport, have we? What has happened in 2 years? And it's not – everybody says, well, in this new era, anything's possible. Well, yeah, but they didn't do this with NIL. Not to this degree. No, they did this with just the right coach at the right time and the right vibe, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, they did it also with the Signetti's dozen. That's what they've dubbed the 13 players who followed him from James Madison to Indiana. And I talked to James Carpenter last night, and I'm talking to Zach Horton here this morning about that and setting the foundation. And one of the things that Carpenter mentioned last night was the group that followed from James Madison was like, we know how to win. We know the steps we need to take to win, and we're going to ingrain this into Indiana. So that's part of it. You brought 13 players who are core to the success of James Madison. Carpenter was part of the first recruiting class with Signetti, so he had a lot that he could offer to the table. And Horton was really good right off the bat, played 8 games as a freshman, and that really helped him. And yeah, you can be old by getting in a guy like Mendoza, who was good at Cal last year and then turned it into a Heisman Trophy season here at Indiana. That helped quite a bit. Again, their roster was probably up there in terms of cost, with revenue sharing and NIL, thanks to Mark Cuban. But they
didn't come in until this year. He hadn't donated until this year.
No. Yeah,
right.
But again, what was the stat? Indiana hadn't lost a fumble since the first game against Old Dominion.
Yes. How many snaps that was? I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Wayne, I'll say this: Carson Beck didn't have to go to class because he's not enrolled for the spring semester.
Yeah, he
took his classes back in December?
Supposedly.
Yeah.
Supposedly. Yeah, that guy didn't help himself on draft day with the way he handled that, and then at the post game, and then he followed up. He decided to go ahead and double down on his non-handshake and that whole mindset. That's not going to help him with GMs in the NFL.
No, and I mean, what was it? 4 interceptions against Louisville. What led to the first loss of the season, and then he throws a pick last offensive play for Miami season. I mean, the 2024 Carson Beck showed up after the 2023 version was there for the first few rounds.
Yeah, he and I don't know, what is Kirk Herbstreit smoking? Talking about Carson Beck glowingly, how he found his love of the sporting, like anybody did him right. He lives in a $5 million mansion down there in Miami. He's got 2 cars. He's got this line of, I mean, just miss me on all this sympathy for Carson Beck. I don't understand.
They had to find storylines. You have to have a storyline before a game for them.
Oh my God.
And I agree with Chris. He was due for a bad game. He was just like Mendoza had a bad game. He was due for a bad game after throwing more touchdowns than incomplete passes the first 2 rounds of the playoffs.
Right.
And I will say Miami's defensive front made his life a living hell.
It's really good. Really good. Yeah. Well, Duke's not going to, Miami's not going to get Duke's quarterback. It's going to be the same situation we saw at Washington. The lawsuit, they're now taking the kid. Mensa is now being sued by Duke.
Right.
Under the same premise of the Washington quarterback who was going to leave, who ended up going, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going back to Washington. From what I understand, it's the same vocabulary, the same dialogue in that contract. So he won't be able to go to Miami.
Yeah, I don't think so. And his attorney is on X saying, they can't enforce this and yada, yada. But
Duke has lawyers too. Yeah. This just in. Yeah, they kind of know what they're doing.
At the same time, he signed a 2-year deal. And most NIL deals are 1 year just because you don't want to get into this type of situation. And Duke really wants the discovery part of this because they want to see, did anyone from Miami reach out to Mensa's representatives? Because the package that they have includes his sister, who full NIL ride for his sister, who is currently enrolled in Oregon. So plus the Adidas deal, plus you name it. So they've had to have been working on this for a while before getting to the end of the portal window and be like, well, we don't have anyone. Who can we turn to? They probably went. They probably had something lined up well beforehand. So that's something where if this goes to discovery, I'd like to see if Miami was tampering, because that's tantamount to what happened, full-fledged tampering and poaching a player from a coach who they're like, oh, you're not good enough, we're going to fire you. And then a couple years later, it's like, hey, man, you did a really good job getting that quarterback developed. We're going to take him.
Yeah. Well, I think it's clear they tampered some way or the other. I don't know how it'll end up, but I think it's pretty obvious at this point. But it is what it is, and it's where we are in college athletics. Maybe this is the kind of thing that helps create some kind of common sense. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Do we look at collective bargaining? I think that's the one thing that they want to see is collective bargaining on this. And I know this might be the time where you have to designate these student athletes as employees so you can have collective bargaining. So that way you can have some sort of rules here, because if you don't have collective bargaining, then you can have Mensa sign a 2-year deal And then after year one, he's like, I'm getting a better offer here from Miami.
Yeah.
I'm going to bounce.
Right.
And then
Miami
had a highly touted quarterback waiting in the wings, and he's entering the portal because, they want to go older guy for a year. They just want to keep doing that instead of developing guys.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I don't know. I think employees, you hit it on the head. That's the only way it's going to have to go. We have conversations down at Radford about that. I think it's the only way it's going to work. Yeah, multi-year contracts, like Brandon's saying. If you leave, you don't get your money, you got to pay it. Something's got to happen to make any of this start to make sense. I don't know how much more the fans are. How much you think the fans are going to continue to support this? That's been my question to people who donate and to spend all this money. When does it become too much? And I think that's when the bottom will fall out, when you start to see some fan revolt. I don't know.
Yeah, once you get fan apathy, and I think Whit Babcock said
that's a good word. That's a good word, yeah.
Whit Babcock said this at the BOV meetings, that when you get fan apathy, that's when you know that your program is heading in the wrong direction. And I kind of felt like the case after the Vanderbilt and ODU games, and then now it's turned around because of the James Franklin hiring. But this is the sort of thing where if you grew up in an era where you were used to seeing the same players in the same jersey for 4 to 5 years and developing and growing and getting their shot as a junior, maybe even a senior, that time's gone. And I agree with Brandon. Something's going to happen here soon. It might be before 2030 when we get realignment coming again. So something's going to happen. And like I said last week, you're probably going to have to you're probably going to have some sort of executive order or something come down the line that changes this, because how else is it going to change? Because the NCAA is not going to make any changes.
No.
Congress isn't going to act. You're going to have the president come in and say this needs to happen in order to get things back in line. I don't know if he's going to do that, but it's the only way it's going to happen.
No, I'm with you. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is going to be. It just seems like it's such a mess. It's such a mess. But people continue to support it, and as long as they support it, it's not going to change. It's just like everything else on all the professional sports. They know the fans always come back, and they have every time. It's going to be the same thing in college sports. People are going to be right there. Virginia Tech, regardless, Oklahoma, wherever you're talking about, tailgating and talking about the season and paying whatever they're asked to pay, and they're all going to sit back and go, hey, we got them. We got them. So that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. So we'll see. We'll see. But whatever the answer is, there's none on the horizon because there's no leadership. So that's where we are. That's where we are with everything.
Yeah, Charlie Baker seems like he's just sits there.
He's a puppet on a string is what he is. That's all he is.
NCAA presidents are.
That's it.
Conference commissioners have the power. Like the university presidents and the conference commissioners have the power.
Yep. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're starting to wind down now with James Franklin's class. People can put whatever number beside it they want. I don't care about any of that. I want to see how guys do when they come down here and how it all comes together. Official announcements starting to come out about staff, right? Is that what we're starting to get now? So,
well, we got the players yesterday, at least the guys who transferred in. I haven't heard anything about the coaches. I think we're still waiting on the safeties coach, who, if it is the secondary coach from Arkansas, he probably won't have a co-DC title to his name because he doesn't have the experience, but he could work his way into the experience. So I found it interesting, like Warren Ruggiero and Danny Rocco are being paid pretty well for being analyst. I think that's saying, hey, you have a lot of experience. We need you on the staff. Well, and this is why, the assistant coach pool might not reach $9.5 million, but you're going to make sure that support staff pool, reaches close to 6 million, because you want to have an army there and have as many resources available to help out. So, they're making decent six figures as analysts, and yeah.
Well, of course, they had to, with Rocco, he left a head coaching gig. So I guess they had to make sure he was taken care of, right?
With his retention bonus, he'll make close to $190,000 this upcoming year, which might be on par with what he was making at VMI, if not greater.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you got to give him the same incentive. I think it's tough to lose. It's tough to leave a program that you've built, even though one that struggles and is not very good, like VMI, because there are limitations. I mean, it's tough. It's kind of what I expected and did end up happening at ODU. I didn't think that Ricky Ronnie would leave, how hard he's worked to get them to where they are, and he didn't. So it's tough to get a guy to leave a head coaching job. It is. So I get that. I get why he would be making that. Yeah.
Well, when you hire his son David, you can say, hey, come back, work with him again. This could be your off-ramp to retirement. Just come here, work for, he's on a 1-year deal, just like all the other analysts and all the other analysts. So, honestly, work 1 year at a time. And then when he's like, hey, I'm ready to retire, they'll be happy to see him go, and he'll have some money in the bank. I don't know if they make midget co-DC. That wasn't on the contract that we got from him. He was just strictly cornerbacks coach. Granted, we only got the contract for Pry, only said defensive coordinator, didn't say linebackers coach. And we're all assuming he's coaching linebackers as well. So could change. But again, if you don't hand out the co-DC title this year and you have guys that perform well and people want to poach them after this season, you have the incentive of saying, we'll add this title and give you and increase your salary to keep you around. And I think that could be worth keeping an eye on, especially as we get through this upcoming season. We haven't even started spring ball or winter workouts yet, so still a lot to be determined.
Yeah, I'm not sure the whole point of that DC co-op. It's got to be, like you said, it's got to just be for financial title status.
Yeah. And then Franklin had co-DCs at Vanderbilt and at Penn State. Pry wasn't just sole DC.
No, he's never been. Yeah.
Right. There was a co-title there all the time. But again, this is going to be Pry's defense. I don't know if he's going to integrate anything of what Cephas ran with some of the bear fronts and the mints defensive packages, or if they're going to go back to Pry's defense that he ran at Vandy and Penn State and what he brought with him. Brought with him to Virginia Tech, and Chris Marv ran for this 2 years.
Prometheus asks, how do you like the roster so far? I know it's early to tell. We're getting Coach Omation to break down some of these guys that Tech's bringing in. What do you like? What do you like about the roster?
I like the offensive line depth. It's young, but the fact that they brought in 11 offensive linemen and I think only lost, I need to go back through and look, they only lost, I think, 2 or 3 guys. Carter Stallard, who's going to Murray State. That's a pretty good drop. And then Hans Hammer's still in the transfer portal. So that's, I think you shored up the line there. I did see the 247 thing about Logan Howland. I don't know if that's been confirmed by anyone yet. Hopefully if that's the case, hopefully he'd be ready for the season, but you lose your starting left tackle if that's the case.
Yeah, torn labrum's not going to be easy to come back from if that's true. Yeah.
No, and then because you're going to,
it's torn. Yeah.
Well, you're going to put him in at left tackle. and probably shift Johnny Garrett back over to the right side. But now you have to see, is Justin Terry ready to move to the left side, or is he your right tackle? So I thought they upgraded the wide receiver room. Kion Brown is, I don't know if he's going to be your number one guy, but I think in the slot and the way they use wide receivers, he's going to have number one targets. He's really good. The fact that they pulled him out of the portal was a coup, and I think probably one of the best gets that they had in the portal class. You're going to have 3 tight end sets, keeping Benji, bringing in Luke Reynolds, and keeping Hairston. Those are your 3 guys. I like them. If you move Elijah Fall to defensive tackle, I think you address defensive line depth. I know not having Cameron Morgan's kind of a blow because of admissions, but I think having Hilson's, I would have Hilson because he's got 4 years left and Morgan only had 3. So you're getting a better upside guy in Hilson. Linebacker-wise, if Chambers continues to develop, I feel better about that group, especially with bringing in Wiley with 2 years left. So I feel better about the roster compared to where we were at the end of the season. Even though they didn't address safety, I thought they'd bring in a safety from the portal. I think getting Reddish back from injury and having Robinson and Johnson a year older definitely helps. And you can start White and Chadwick at corner, move IBM to slot, and have Thomas Williams be your number 4 corner, with Josh Clark being the number 3 guy. So I think they're in a better spot. Again, I kind of want to see how things look in the spring from a depth standpoint, but I think they're working with quite a bit more than they were last year.
What do you expect from Pry's defense? I mean, it was his defense, even though he wasn't the coordinator. They didn't necessarily set the world on fire while he was the head coach. Do you think that's more of just not having the right personnel, or was Chris Marv not able to do that? Then they changed it up with Sivkas, and it was a disaster. I mean, what do you think? What's your prognosis about Pry now going back and creating that same, defense that I guess he grew a reputation at Penn State for? I don't know. Tech was the only school that considered him head coaching material at the time. So what do you think?
The defenses weren't terrible under Marv. From a number standpoint, they were good. It's just the strength and conditioning standpoint. The guys weren't conditioned to play in the fourth quarter. And now you're bringing in an entire strength staff. And I mean, Chuck Losey bringing in his top 3 guys from Penn State and bringing them here to work with them. I think they'll be in a much better spot conditioning wise. And we saw that defensive scheme at Penn State when it was at its best. And this is not just Micah Parsons. This is when these are years without Parsons. They were able to get after the quarterback. They were able to force takeaways. They were able to do a lot of good things on defense. And part of that was because the offense ran the ball a lot, time of possession, so the defense wasn't out there on the field, for 60, 70, 80 snaps a game. So I could see that kind of playing out. I think they got dudes now on defense. Hilson's going to be probably used very similarly to Parsons off the edge. He's got that ability, and I know a lot of other guys watched some other podcasts. They liken him to APR, except he's not small enough. He's not small where he gets washed out if double team comes and they take care of him. He's got the size to win a lot of battles against double teams. So I think they're in a much better spot there to have this defense play to the level that they played at Penn State under Pry. And I tell you, Virginia Tech saw Pry as a head coach candidate because he came from the Tech tree, I guess you could say, because of the mid-90s run. there as a graduate assistant. So, but yeah, I agree with Chris. Team was much better conditioned under Ferguson last year, and I think they'll still be conditioned really well under this group of Penn State, because I don't think conditioning was an issue at Penn State over the last few years, even with the struggles during the middle part of last year. I mean, you saw that they were conditioned to play with Indiana down the stretch this year, and outside of the Iowa game, those were in the Ohio State game and the Big Ten title game, those were the only times that, Indiana was really tested. And you're tested by a Penn State team that was conditioned to play at the end of the game. And I think that will be a big reason why Virginia Tech's defense looks better under Pride than they did under Marv, because Marv, Galt, for whatever reason, didn't do a good job of getting those guys conditioned.
It was good to see you Saturday. You got to see a pretty good finish at the Dedman Center, didn't you?
It didn't look like it was going to be that good of a finish the way that first half did. Radford scored on 24 of 33 possessions in the first half, which is absurdly good. And when you can average 1.6 points per possession, that looked like a good team. Just for some, Longwood's defense just got better, and I think both coaches, you asked Zach Chu, you asked Ronnie Thomas, they both answered the same question. We just need to play 40 minutes. You can't be a 20-minute team. And but it was nice to see Zach Chu be able to run an end of game set that he hasn't been able to run this year, because they haven't played any close games.
Yeah, I mean, one way or the other, they haven't been included. That's true. They haven't had a game like that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's the first game decided by 3 points or less. And
everything's been pretty.
That was executed perfectly.
Yeah. Dale Jones' quickness is just it's crazy. Yeah. And then he had to switch hands. He got defended on the one side and he had to switch up. Yeah. That's what made that layup really special.
Well, I mean, he went up against three guys.
Yeah. And he was able to switch sides like that. So
yeah, and I mean, you inbound it to Parker, you think, oh man, he's going to be a guy who's going to shoot it, and then you start Dell in the backcourt and give him some momentum heading in.
Let him run. Yeah.
I mean, it was executed perfectly, and give credit to Longwood. Made that a game.
They did
at the end.
They did. I was impressed with the way they hung in there. Coach Thomas kept them together, and they hit shots, and they made it come down to the last possession when it shouldn't have, to be honest with you. But it did. Need to get you there more often. Every time you come there, something fun happens. So
yeah. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to get down there Saturday because of the weather.
Oh Lord, I don't know what that's going to look like.
Who knows? I mean, I've seen the GFS model. I've seen the Euro model. I've seen it's like, dude, I'm going to wait till we get closer to determine if it's going to be a whole lot of snow or if it's going to be like, all right, yeah, this is nothing.
I know. Who knows? I'm going to wait on Kevin Myatt. He's really good on X. The guy used to be at Roanoke Times. Kevin.
Yep.
He does a great job. So we'll see. And now I wonder if it becomes more ice, I mean, nothing's going to move. People are going to have to it's going to be interesting to see what happens. We have a doubleheader scheduled Saturday in Edmond. I don't know how that's going to happen.
And that's a big men's game against High Point.
Yeah. And I don't know how those teams will be stuck here. Like the UNC Asheville women and the High Point men will not be able to go anywhere. So,
no, unless you move that game up to Friday.
And
I don't know if the Big South's going to do that. I know a lot of ODAC teams in this region have moved up their Saturday events to Friday.
It would be the only thing that you could do unless you're going to looking at some date down the road. And I don't know if you get coaches who would agree to that. But today I get to meet the Big South people are meeting me down at Winthrop because we're getting new video equipment and I'm going to bring it back. So I'm going to ask them flat out, what's the emergency protocol for?
Yeah, because I know coaches don't want to lose their quote unquote bye during the season.
Exactly.
Where you get a Wednesday or a Saturday off. Ideally, you would say, hey, we'll play Wednesday. Let's play Friday. I know it's a quick turnaround, but at least you get the game in and you get them going.
Correct.
Before the storm hits.
Because then you have liability. for the people that have to. And Asheville's 3 hours away, and High Point, I know it's an hour and a half away, but how are they going to get across the mountain? They're not. No, nobody's. They're not. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to it. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to get them safe, and this reminds me of. I can't remember if it was like 2017, 2018, when the Virginia Tech women were hosting a WNIT game against Alabama. And Alabama's bus had issues coming up 77 because of the weather. And then they had to wait for a new bus to come pick them up and get there. And it was like it threw them all off. I can see that it's a liability issue because one, they're busing. Yep. And 2, 77 in perfect weather is kind of iffy.
Yeah, exactly.
You add in weather, and we've seen the wrecks on 77 when the weather's bad. There's a reason why they have cameras set up there to catch all that stuff.
Yeah, it looks like a battle zone sometimes when you're driving through there. It's just crazy. Yeah, so I don't know, man. We'll see. But in any event, good to have you as always. Great stuff, and come see us more often at Debin, man. It's great to see you.
Oh yeah, I'll do my best to get down there. I have to keep an eye out on the Washington Lee women who are undefeated, and they have a player who is currently on pace to set the NCAA Division III records for most rebounds and most double-doubles in a career. So I have to get up there at some point, and and I think we might be able to talk to Franklin and his staff next week.
Really? Are you hearing rumors?
Yeah, might. So Tech's hosting Duke on Saturday, and there's going to be a lot of media in town, so it might be hey, come over the day before. Everyone's going to be in town for Junior Day. No one's going to be out recruiting. So, hey, come out, talk to them, get a chance to meet some of these guys for the first time, get to meet Pry for the first time since he's been fired, or for the first time since the ODU game.
I hope so. I hope you get to talk to him. Yeah.
I think that's currently getting scheduled right now. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out. But I'm going to be interested to see how things turn out, and hopefully have some stuff to write about after talking to them, because I'm sure they'll have an idea about the roster, have a better idea about the roster than what I do. And get a chance to pick the brains of a few guys, see why they chose Tech, and following James Franklin and what they think about. And then also on the 26th, so Monday at 9 p.m. on the ACC network, they're going to release the league schedule for this upcoming season. So,
good. So we'll have some good stuff next week. Good.
Yeah, we'll get to find out if Virginia Tech's playing a ACC game on the 26th, or if something else pops up, because then we can get into they could have moved James Madison to the 5th, and instead of playing VMI and then all that other stuff. So we'll see what happens. Should be interesting. I know there's been some talk about people saying, Virginia Tech should have canceled VMI so that way they could have an open date to open the ACC play. But if the ACC said, hey, we're not going to play anyone, we're not going to have any league games week 1, then we don't want to rehash that whole thing from last week that we talked about.
Well, we're going to talk to Teel about it here in just a little bit.
He'll probably have some stuff to say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, brother. Listen, you stay safe the rest of the week, and stay safe this weekend, man. And we will talk to you next week.
All right. Have fun in South Rock Hill tonight.
Yeah, man. It's a nice place. I like the Winthrop Coliseum. You remember it. It's older, but it's kind of a cool place. I kind of like Winthrop Coliseum.
Yeah, and they had a Big South tournament there.
Yeah, exactly. That was the Chris Clemens unbelievable 51-point game that the record that Dennis Parker broke. Yeah.
Followed up by Radford beating Liberty in the following game.
That's right. It was a good day. Yeah. All right, man. Stay safe. We'll talk to you.
You too.
All right, man. There you go. Great stuff from Damien Sordelett. All right, David Teel going to join us a little bit. Everybody knows I've had this cold. I got a lot of stuff built up. I got to go blow my nose really loud. So I don't want to do that here. So hang on. Give me some time. I'll be back here in just a second. Talk amongst yourselves. All right. I just don't want to do that on the air here. So I'll be back. And I got a cough too. So. All right. Sorry, guys and gals. I didn't want y'all to have to experience that. So we are trying to muddle through here. So let me send Teel his invite. Good stuff from Kion Brown and Damien Sordelett. Matt Roan, Director of Athletics at James Madison, will be joining us here momentarily. Yes, I remember it well. Being healthy, I remember that being well. Telling Mr. Teel I just sent the invite. He likes to be notified. And there we go. But anyway, nasal spray. I should do that on the air. That'd be great. Hey, what's up, Texas Tech, man? You're back. You are back. Good to see you. Yeah, the Big 12 is really good in basketball. Has been for a while. Yeah, brief pause for station identification. Yeah. I'm trying, guys. And then you hope it doesn't fester back up tonight during the Radford game. Thanks to Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios here in Reiner, McClellan Chiropractic. Thanks to Mark Hunley. We read you the great story about Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment and the things that they're doing, presenting sponsor of this program. The great news of them signing a contract, man. Just great stuff from Jonathan Sweet with the IHRA. Thanks to Little River Heating and Air, the attorney Ryan Pry. For our BDST fan question of the week, National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner, Professional Door Incorporated, Travis Williams up in Dublin, commercial and residential garage door, sponsor of our text line, the Ready Set Fund. Thanks to Lawson's Mobile Home Supply. Thanks to Top Shelf Apparel, Brandon and Pulaski. And thanks to everybody at the NRV Super Bowl for all of your support. Everybody's great. All right. Coming up in just a little bit, Matt Roan will join us. But as we've been talking about, that gentleman is back, the Hall of Famer, David Teel. David, how are you, man? Good morning.
Good morning, Rick.
A lot going on, to say the least. I guess, first of all, let's get right to the end here. Indiana able to pull it off. Nothing short of magnificent. The greatest thing I've seen, turnaround I've ever seen in my lifetime in sports. What do you think? Where do you rank what Kurt Signetti was able to finish on Monday night?
Rick, you'd have to be a heck of a lot older to find a turnaround like this, and perhaps ancient, because I don't think anyone has ever seen something quite like Indiana. Literally, to go from worst, having the most losses in college football history, to not only winning the national championship, but running the table at 16-0. Just a remarkable feat, and done so against a Miami team, I think, that was nothing short of gallant. I mean, Miami defensively on Monday night was superb. Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor made Fernando Mendoza's life miserable and beat him up literally. And that 4th and 4 quarterback draw, number one, the decision by Signetti to go for it. and number 2, Mendoza bulldozing people and then going full horizontal aerial into the end zone. That's as iconic a play as we've seen in the sport.
And if somebody in the Raiders organization still had any doubt when they saw that play, don't even just write the name down. Here's the card. Just go ahead and announce it, right? That was an NFL play, man. That was it.
Yeah, I think that's a foregone conclusion that that young man is going to be the number 1 overall pick.
So we're at the end, and a lot still everything happening in college football. I mean, there's no answers on the horizon. I guess the other thing I want to get into with you is, Virginia Tech dropping James Madison. It's a terrible optic. I don't know how else to say it, right, for Virginia Tech. It just really is. We're going to talk to Matt Roan about it here coming up, but this isn't anything that James Madison wanted in any way, shape, or form.
No. Heavens no. James Madison wants to play Power 4 teams, and as Matt will tell you, and as he and I have discussed before, darn near none of the Power 4 wants to play James Madison these days. Dukes are just too good. And the downside is not really worth it to some of these Power 4 folks. That's the calculation that they're going to make. But for a team just down the interstate in Virginia Tech to drop JMU, when the game would have been great for the fans, and I believe it would have been, especially when compared to other Power 4 versus Group of 5 matchups, it would have been a television draw, perhaps on a regional basis.
Sure.
But you're talking about James Franklin in his first season at Virginia Tech, and you're talking about a James Madison bunch coming off a college football playoff bid with a new head coach, new personnel, obviously, on both sides. But I think it would have been a draw, and a television draw, and a fan draw. And it's a shame that this is the route that Virginia Tech decided to go. And I know, folks can say, oh, the VMI rivalry and back in the day. Come on, man. VMI's 1-11 in the past 2 seasons. As my friend Andy Bitter over at Tech Sideline described it, it's going to be a very uninteresting game when the Hokies open up against VMI. And would the alternative have been for Virginia Tech, number 1, to drop VMI and then open the season against an ACC opponent? Yes. But that's okay. Go ahead. In a time when the ACC is dispersing its media revenue based largely on television viewership, take that risk and put yourself out there, just like they did against South Carolina this season and drew over 5 million viewers. Right. So it is not the decision I would have made, but I also get it from Virginia Tech's end. They want to start the Franklin era with as close to a guaranteed win as possible, and that's what they did.
100%. This is not, a lot of Tech fans have tried to say, no, the ACC controlled this. They had to drop the VMI game.
No. No, the ACC would have gladly scheduled a league opener for Virginia Tech to usher in the James Franklin era. It would have been a television draw. The ACC loves big-time week 1 matchups, and they absolutely would have accommodated Virginia Tech here. Do not run that jive past me.
100%. I agree. And the only optic that's left is the bad one that it looks like it is. Sometimes truth is reality. It's not just perception. The truth is reality. And the truth is Virginia Tech dropped that game because it was James Madison.
Yes.
100%. That's where we are. So there you go. So it is what it is. I don't know. You think Tech will continue to take questions and talk about this? They just want it to go away at this point. They didn't really – the release didn't say anything other than this is what's happening. We haven't seen a follow-up. I would like to see somebody discuss it a little bit over there, but we'll see if that happens.
No, the release said nothing. It didn't even offer a canned quote from Whit Babcock any of the administration. And, Matt Roan in James Madison's release was quoted and gave credit to Virginia Tech for being transparent about this. And literally from the moment in September that the ACC moved to the 9-game conference schedule, which meant that Virginia Tech needed to drop one of its non-league games. Virginia Tech immediately went to James Madison and started the negotiations on this. So people who would say, oh, but Virginia Tech didn't know till last minute. No, Virginia Tech knew in September that it needed to drop a non-conference game. Just enough with the excuses.
Right. It was selectively chosen. Sorry. Everybody just accept it for what it is. You can still be a fan, but just, everybody who says they were ducking JMU, well, that's what it is.
Yep.
That's what it is. Hoops time. I love conference hoops time. We've talked about this. And Duke, Virginia Tech battling through injuries. This league is deep. I mean, how much fun are you having watching the ACC battles every week right now on the hardwood?
Even just last night, to see NC State, which has struggled at times, go on the road and Clemson's 9-game winning streak. And then Florida State, winless in the league, to go on the road and beat a Miami team that was arguably the most pleasant surprise in the conference. So your point is well taken, Rick. In conference play, you're never quite sure what's going to happen. I believe right now road teams are right at about 500 in ACC conference games, which is unusual.
Yeah.
And, maybe a function of who has played who and such. But still, it's an interesting early look in at the depth of the league. I think as of yesterday, they had 8 of the top 35 in the net rankings, which bodes well for a league that was scarred from only getting 4 teams in the NCAA tournament last season.
We were talking earlier with Keon about what's your take on North Carolina and Hubert Davis? I mean, they had that terrible West Coast trip.
Oof.
We played them at Radford. Talking to some of the fans around us, I mean, is there something missing there? I don't want to put it all on him, but it doesn't seem to be the same vibe around that program since he took over. Maybe that's just me. I'm not exposed to it as much as you are. But what's your take on Chapel Hill right now on the hardwood?
Well, it's been such a inconsistent time at Carolina. A program that goes back to Dean Smith and literally more than 2 decades of top 3 finishes in the ACC without a hiccup. And now it's a different era, and Hubert Davis is trying to navigate it, and he's gone from the darn near the absolute peak to dismissing Mike Krzyzewski at the Final Four in the ultimate Duke-Carolina game, to then missing the NCAA tournament one season, and then being darn lucky last year to backdoor into the first 4 in Dayton. And yes, you win there, but then you lose promptly in the first round of the tournament. So it's just been this wild ride. And then, some encouraging wins in the non-conference this year, and then you go out to Cal. I mean, literally since the conference season started, Carolina can't guard. It's teams are shooting about 50% beyond the arc. That's just bad defense.
Yeah.
And Hubert Davis acknowledged as much on the Zoom with media Monday. And they have a get-well game tonight at home against Notre Dame. And then they come to John Paul Jones Arena on Saturday, weather permitting. And that place, hopefully, fans can get there because they're naming the court after Tony Bennett. It's going to be wired. It could be a great atmosphere. And that's going to be a serious test for the Tar Heels because Cavaliers will light you up from 3.
Yeah. And Tech trying to get healthy. 2 road games this week. Syracuse, it's never easy to play in the Dome. Louisville's Louisville, the
especially for
upsetter.
Virginia Tech. I mean, how many
Yeah.
times have the Hokies won at the Dome? I think just once.
One time, yeah.
Yeah, and that was under Mike Young, but it's proven a heavy lift, and obviously much different team. And but it doesn't sound like Tyler Johnson will play tonight, but Mike Young says he is close, and Johnson's return will really help them on the glass, will help them defensively, and it'll just be fun to see this team at full health, because I think it can be very good. I think it can be an NCAA tournament team. It has showed as much. Now, they got some serious issues to clean up in end games. The SMU and Stanford games, if they don't make the NCAA tournament, man, they're going to rue those final sequences in those two contests.
Well, I agree with you. And you mentioned where we are in the net rankings. I mean, you see 8 teams, right? It feels like 8 teams, maybe, if it all plays out normally, which it may not, but making it.
Yeah, normally is an elusive concept.
It is.
When it comes to one, college basketball, and two, especially the selection committee. But no, I think you could see 8, maybe as many as 9, depending on how it all falls. And then it'll be up to the league to perform, and that hasn't been the problem. Once in the tournament, ACC teams have performed quite well, thank you very much. Getting to the Final Four and advancing Elite Eights and such. But the problem has been the volume of bids, and that's what the ACC is striving to correct.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Very, very good point. I got to ask before we let you go, David, this whole Duke, the Mensa situation looks like it's following the same thing as the Washington quarterback a few weeks ago. Looks like they're going to sue Miami.
No. They have sued.
They have sued. So where are we with all this? How do you think this is going to turn out?
Well, and Rick, this is not based on insider knowledge. This comes from reading folks like Sportico and ESPN. But the way Mensa's contract is structured is if he tries to get out of it, it goes to arbitration. So an outside entity is going to decide this. And I don't blame Duke for trying to enforce the contract, especially at this late hour in the portal season. And what will be interesting is if somehow the Blue Devils prevail in this, would Mensa elect to just sit out? Would he elect to play? And then what happens at Miami? Because Emory Williams, seeing all the Darian Mensa news, he bailed, and he's in the portal, and he's expected to land at East Carolina. So many, many uncertainties for both Miami and Duke at the sport's most important position.
Feels like we're going to see more and more of this, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes. And until there is some kind of collective bargaining and hard and fast enforceable contracts, this is the mess these schools have created.
Well, nothing's on the horizon. As you said a few weeks ago, we're not looking at anything, 2 or 3 years. I can't imagine anything being able to change what we're seeing now. Unless I really don't. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see it. I don't see anybody being able to have the authority to make anything start to make any sense with pay for play.
No, I'll have my feet propped up sipping a glass of wine at the nursing home by the time they get
And then you'll go, oh, look, they finally came up with some rules, huh?
Yeah.
All right, where are you headed this weekend? If the weather, you might not be heading anywhere this weekend.
It is supposed to be ugly in the 757 now. But no, I am trying my level best to get to Charlottesville. And, then trying to get to Blacksburg for 2 games next week, Georgia Tech on Tuesday and Duke on Saturday.
Well, enjoy your travels and stay safe. And great stuff as always, my friend.
All right, be good. Say hey to Matt.
I will do it. I will do it. Take care, David. There you go.
Yep.
David Teel, the Hall of Famer. Great stuff from him. Yeah, I got to get. Let me send. I got to send Maddie his invite here. Got to hit the road here in just a little bit. Let's see here. I got to find Matt's. I can never remember his email address. So what do you think? Everybody in chat saying they don't care. Really? You don't care? Tech fan, you don't care. Really? Doesn't bother you at all. You're just going to say, hey, it doesn't matter what we did. Okay. Well, then don't criticize anybody else. Right? Don't criticize other folks going forward then, if that doesn't bother you. I'm not saying it's something that's going to cause you to lose your fanship, but just to kind of shrug it off and act like you don't care, then don't criticize Virginia ever for their schedule. Don't criticize, other teams for anything that they do, because you're saying that it doesn't matter. You're saying that it just doesn't matter. So let me know. Let me know your thoughts. People are saying they don't care. Okay. I think you can be bothered by it. Again, this goes back to being a fan, and it goes back to looking at all this stuff, and it's okay to criticize. It's okay to be disappointed, right? With it. I mean, it is what it is. I used to have these conversations with Jim Weaver a long, long time ago when, Virginia Tech wouldn't go on the road, and they wouldn't go out west. They wouldn't take the Oregon series. He used to come in the studio. I really had some great conversations and learned a lot about the process with Jim Weaver. It was great. Tech must have cared enough to decide not to play them, Rodney says. I mean, it's you can say you don't care. Okay, that's fine. You don't care. But then don't sit there on one side and say this doesn't bother you, and then try to say, well, Virginia had an easy schedule, so therefore they play in the ACC title game. I mean, it is what it is. But again, it's okay to not like it. If I were a Tech season ticket holder, I wouldn't like it. I would like to play them. I mean, I think Wayne said it right. This is a team that could be had this year. My issue is that this is the team that just came off the playoff. You just brought in James Franklin. You got a lot of momentum. And then you're actively choosing not to play the one team. As David said, it would have been great publicity. Would have been great. I think the TV ratings would have been great. How else would you want to celebrate that? By playing a team that has been in the national picture. All right? That people want to defend it. Okay. All right. Good luck with that. Joining us now on the program, he is the director of athletics at the aforementioned James Madison Dukes. What's up, Matt? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, first of all, congratulations on everything. I heard JMU mention, I don't know how many times during the national championship broadcast.
Yeah, the joke around here was JMU Bloomington played Miami on Monday night. But no, very, very happy for Indiana, but specifically happy for Coach Signetti, so many members of that staff, 13 players last year, right, that really were the foundation of this year. And yeah, every play that you heard made the other night, it typically was that guy started at JMU, and that guy came with Sig from JMU. But I tell you, another piece, a lot of people don't realize this, but the defensive coordinator for Miami was our DC here in 2021 under Sig as well. So before Brian Haynes got the job, that's now the Indiana DC, Corey Heatherman, the DC at Miami. was here as well. So there was some JMU influence on both sidelines. But yeah, heck of a game, big time game.
It was a big time game. Miami played very well, but in the end, Indiana made enough plays and just a miraculous finish to just an incredible turnaround. And what Coach Cignetti has done and what Coach Chesley is going to try to replicate at UCLA, and now Billy Napier's coming. I mean, you just got the train rolling there with coaches down at JMU.
Yeah, and I certainly think, you heard Sig say it the other night, right? I subscribe to the philosophy of people win, right? If you have talented people, that certainly makes winning a lot easier. It's never easy, but it makes it easier than if you don't. But I think what Indiana has, what I certainly know we have, and I think Bob is going to try to replicate out at UCLA is just alignment. People understanding the value of athletics, people understanding the role that administration plays, which is to resource, equip, and tool your head coaches, your talent and your programs with the tools that they need to be most successful. And this era of rev share, that's part of the equation, right? Being able to invest in your coaches and staff is part of the equation, being able to invest in your program. So you're providing a great experience for the people inside of it is part of it. But yeah, I think that alignment and talent, when those two things match up, it's pretty dangerous. And I certainly know that's what we have here.
Well, there's no doubt. And you've talked about, how for years now, the dedication to the vision going forward has survived a place like James Madison to be able to go, hey, we lose our coach, but we can get someone like Billy Napier. We can go to the portal and get all these accolades, right? Because now it's a major program.
Yeah.
It may not be part of a Power 4 league, but JMU is a major program, right?
Yeah, and I think what you're selling is that, right? We talk a lot. Our fans know that they hear me say it a lot. Is really success without labels. You'll never hear me talk about we want to be a premier mid-major. You'll never hear me necessarily say. Very often, occasionally I will, but we'll talk about the group of six. To me, it's let's not be bound by labels that people want to put on us. Let's be a major program, right? When you come into our facilities, you see that exists, right? When you see our crowds, you see that exists. And so that's really kind of, I think, a lot of what we're selling. In this most recent portal that closed up on Friday night, and you're still adding some pieces here before ad drop. We have the luxury of saying there's ACC programs that don't sell out their stadiums, right? That don't play in front of the home environments that we do, that don't have the success that we do. And so if that's important to you, it's not important to everybody. There's other things that may be more supreme, but if winning is important and being taken care of is important, I think this is the place for a lot of people. And we're very, very pleased coming out of the portal as we get this spring semester underway. That hopefully, and you got to play the games, right? It's easy to sit here and say that we replaced equal, if not better than talent than what we just lost. But that's the goal is to continue that upward trajectory and, bring in great people in and again, them knowing the type of place, the culture that they're stepping into and the experience that they're going to be provided and afforded here. I think it's allowed us to not miss a beat.
Well, and I know we can't discuss people, players' names and say, well, it seems like it's been overwhelming, right, with the class that Coach Napier's been able to assemble coming in this year. I mean, everybody pretty pleased with the talent level?
Yeah, I think absolutely so. I got a text from our player personnel guy the other day. I'll read it to you. Just talking about 51 new players. Now, this was as of Saturday. 51 new players, 16 from the high school ranks, 35 transfers, 17 are from our footprint. And so we feel good about that, right? You always want to take care of, that drivable distance. It gets families here. It makes it easier in life, just much better. But one of the things that we believe in, and you heard this phrase again a lot during the national championship game is, production over potential. You want people who have played. You want people who have won. You want people who have been all conference. And so 20 of our 35 transfers as of that time were FCS guys or D2 or NAIA, moving up. And I think that leads to a lot of gratitude when they get here. They're appreciative to be JMU Dukes. but they're coming here having played really good football. They're elite players, and yeah, we feel really good about this class, and it's always a big number. 2 years ago, I think we were at 65, 66 players that were new. This past year, 50 some that were new. So to be at 51, we're at least trending in the right direction, but you're turning over half of a team.
Yeah.
But we were able to, I think most importantly too, Rick, we were able to retain several things, several kids, right? So 2 years ago, it was kind of a complete gut. And with that, you risk that culture walking out of the door. So being able to retain key pieces on both sides of the ball, those kids know what is expected. They know how we practice. They know, again, the culture that exists here, not just in football, but inside the athletics department on campus. I think that's important as well.
Matt Roan joining us on the program, the Director of Athletics at James Madison University. What do you foresee in the future with how this is going to shape up in the playoff? I mean, people are back and forth. I know it's hard to predict. You don't know what decision makers are going to be, but you're privy to these conversations. I don't ever want to see programs like James Madison and Tulane not be allowed to participate. But how do you see this thing playing out?
Yeah, well, I'll go back to I've said this a million times. I think I told you the last time I was on the show with you. There's this narrative out there that JMU got in and Notre Dame didn't. That's not accurate, right? Alabama and Miami got in and Notre Dame didn't. JMU got in and Duke didn't. The reason that we were in that 12-team field is because we were one of the 5 highest ranked conference champions, and they measured a 12-1 Sun Belt champion as being more worthy than an 8-5 ACC champion that had lost to Tulane, that had lost to UConn, so had better success in their own league than they did against the group of 5, right? So that's the reason that we got in this year, and I think you saw a lot of narrative going into Oregon, rather, of not belonging. The best thing that ever happened to us was 2 weeks after we played Oregon, and again, we were overwhelmed at first. I was proud of how we continued to fight, but you saw Oregon take on Texas Tech and beat them, I think, 24-0. And it felt like the narrative flipped at that point, where you saw some of those same people who were critical 2 weeks prior say, hey, maybe JMU was a lot better football team than we thought they were. So that was good to see. Look, I realize people get paid to talk about college sports and to find a narrative that fits. And I try not to subscribe to the theories of, private capital or influencing or behind some of these things. But in my opinion, Rick, I still think there's always going to continue to be access. I think the commissioners, I think the people who are caretakers of college football understand the importance of that. You've seen the memo come out that really kind of protects, again, those Power 4 conference champions, ensuring they get in, which would limit us in a usual year to get that one spot. But I think as we go to 16, there's going to continue to be access. If we go to 16, certainly if we go to 24, I think there could be opportunities for more spots of access. And, for us, as long as there is a way to get into that field, that's meaningful for us, and that's something that we're going to fight for with our league office, the G6 commissioners working with one another. I think it's easy to probably panic and overreact, but I think there's too many people who believe in college football. And just like the basketball tournament, what makes college football great, in my opinion, right now is that do you have a 12-team field filled with nothing but G6s? No, right? You want the 12 best programs in America, but I think it's fitting that one or two in this 12-team field this year, I can make the argument we're the 12 best programs in America as the rules were written this year, and we'll see how they evolve in future years.
Well, I mean, the Dukes scored 34 on them, and Texas Tech couldn't score. So, enough. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That says a lot.
We were proud of it.
Yeah. Do you think 16 will be the cap? Do you think 24 is a realistic thing? I know that seems to be something that people are talking about that the Big Ten's looking at down the road.
Yeah, I think we eventually, right? We're forget what somebody said, that it took us 10 years to go from 4 to 12, roughly. we're on pace right now. If we go to 16 and 26, we're on pace to go from 12 for 2 years to 16 all of a sudden. And so I don't know that we get there for 26. I think there's still probably too many details to be worked out.
Yeah.
I think we eventually get to 16. I think we eventually probably get to a number that's even greater than that. If there's one lesson that I've learned in life, it's follow the money, and that typically makes the decision. There's too much money in 16, right? There's too much money in 24. I do think there's real concern about anything greater than 16 minimizing the importance of a college football regular season. To me, college football regular seasons, and people that I know have heard me say this, it's still the most meaningful regular season in all of sport, right? Because you can't lose. NFL, you can go 9-8, 10-7.
Yeah.
Still win your division, right? Still get into the postseason.
Yep.
College football, really the test is 2 losses, sometimes 3, depending on when that is and who that is. That it's getting you into that CFP. And so I don't want to minimize the importance of that regular season, but obviously the commissioner of the Big Ten, the commissioner of the SEC have some weighted authority in those decisions. If they can get aligned, maybe we get to 16 sooner. I know the Big Ten wants to get to 24 within a few years. That assurance, that promise is what they're after. I just don't know if that'll happen by Friday.
Yeah, right. No, I'm with you. It feels like it's a year away from expanding. It does. Yeah. It does. Well, let's just take this from the next question from your perspective. We just discussed the Virginia Tech James Madison schedule drop with David Teel. He was very pointed in his comments. I want to look at this from your perspective. What does this create for your program and your athletic department, counting on that game and what it would have meant and what you had to do subsequently once you realized Virginia Tech was not going to play that game?
Yeah, I'll answer this. Maybe answer the latter part of that question first, and then come back to
sure,
what does it mean. And I admittedly, or not admittedly, but just want to be very, very clear. Right, Whit was very transparent with me, and I do appreciate that, because as disruptive as it was, it could have been much worse if all of a sudden we're doing this song and dance of maybe, maybe not. But as soon as the ACC went to 9 games, that communication started to say, hey, you're probably on the outside looking in. I wasn't surprised, knowing, probably wanting to keep an FCS, knowing that they had the obligation to play another Power 4 opponent in Maryland, and with the back and forth that they had done with Old Dominion in that long-term series, it made some logical sense that they might be the ones that are coming to us next. And so we started working the phones right away. As you might imagine, there are when you're talking about the ACC, they were dropping games to get to 9. The SEC similarly. So you really couldn't make a lot of calls in your own backyard to say, hey, can we get there? So a lot of my calls, all of my calls really at the first month or so, were to Big 12 opponents, to Big 10 opponents. I will tell you candidly, when you make those calls, people say, hey, this game's not happening. I'm not going to I can't convince my coach to play you. And again, I get that, right? If the shoe was on the other foot, I'm probably the same way. I don't know if I want to bring JMU to play us on the heels of a CFP appearance and with the momentum that we have right now. And very, very thankful that San Diego State was willing to play us. Now it's a long way to go. We'll end the season in 25 on the West Coast, and we'll pretty much start the season in 26 on the West Coast on the road in week 3. But, that is an elite group of 6 program. That's a good matchup for us. And so when you look at Liberty at home, when you look at San Diego State on the road and UConn on the road, we think that we've got a pretty competitive non-conference slate there, again, without those labels. What does it mean for our program? I will tell you, Whit and I talked a lot about, what would that guarantee be if it were a postponement as opposed to just a straight cancellation. I think for him, they ultimately decided that it made most sense to just be a cancellation, and then we could work together in 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever that time may be, to try to get a game between us. I will tell you, it's important for our fans to play that game, right? It's trying to think. I'm at 245 right now, so it's 120 miles almost to get back onto 460 and to get back to Blacksburg to play that game. And it would be very important for our fans financially. We mitigated that impact, and we'll actually come out ahead. Getting the liquidated damages that we get from Tech. Obviously, going on the road for a guarantee to play San Diego State.
Well,
financially, we'll come out ahead. But yeah, you still miss that opportunity for your fans to be able to, get in a car, drive down the road. Two, proud in-state programs, two proud in-state fan bases going against one another would have been a lot of fun. That's what we'll miss the most.
Yeah, exactly. And it would have been a great talking point, great television point, and all these things that no longer will happen. It's interesting. So now it's officially a cancellation, and maybe it'll be revisited at some point. So I wondered how that was.
Yeah, well, I wonder. My man Teel. I'll have to go back and listen to see what he said.
Yeah, yeah, he was pretty straight to the point how he felt about it. Exactly. But well, that's good news, man. And I just kept thinking about you Monday night, JMU this, JMU that, and how you had to be smiling with pride. And Coach Napier, Kurt Signetti, I'm sure he still feels like this is at some way inside of him. This is still part of JMU's national championship as well, in a way, right? Because that was the place that launched him to the Indiana job.
We, I'm sure, and has always been complimentary of the success that he enjoyed here, and his rise is unconventional, but it's amazing, right? To go from D2 IUP to Elon to here to Indiana, he's won every step along the way, and so there was a lot of pride in that. But it's kind of like the moral victory. You sit there and you think, how do we get back to the CFP? That's our goal now. How do we advance in that to get out of that first round, to get into the quarters and then the semis? I mean, I think anything is absolutely possible, and that's one of the things that I think Indiana did probably more than anything else was if you have alignment, if you have resources, kind of tradition be damned anymore, right? You can make a run. I think Vanderbilt, you could argue, is here to stay. Indiana is here to stay. Texas Tech. I mean, these are not traditional powers, but I'll go back to what Sig said last year is why would he leave Indiana? He's building an emerging superpower. If you have that alignment, if you have those resources, if you have vision and, the right people in place to execute on that, I think anything is possible.
No, you're right. 100%. The vision says it all, and having the right people says it all. That's why James Madison was very fortunate that you were ready to come in there to help lead things through all this. But
I appreciate it.
College basketball season kicking up. You guys are preseason favorites. I mean, good team, great league. I mean, how you feeling about hoop season for the men and women?
Yeah, so on the men's side, probably not where we want to be right now. We're looking up in the standings. It feels like every game that we've played and we've lost has been close, right? And so the margins, we just have to tweak certain things, and then obviously you can make a run. But it's more important to play great basketball in the month of February than it is in January. So as we get to the end of this month, hopefully with the calendar turning, we can start to play better basketball and position ourselves, whether if not at the top, we're in striking distance to when we get to Pensacola for our league tournament. We can make a run in what is going to be a one bid league this year. That conference tournament is the most important thing that we have in front of us. And so how do we put ourselves in position to be successful there? Our women's team has kind of unconventional, right? We've lost 3 league games this year. And when you go 18-0 in the league last year, you lose 3 and it's, oh my gosh, what's happening? But we beat Tech earlier in the year in the non-conference. And so that was, a great non-conference slate for us. I think we came out of that very positive. Kind of stubbed our toe a few times in the league, but we're a game out of first, 2 games out of first. With our core here, complete confidence that, again, we're going to be looking up in the end of February going into Pensacola, sitting at the top of those standings and see if we can't do what we couldn't do last year, which is get to that championship game and then win it. We got there last year, got upset after being up 18. Hopefully this year we can finish the job. And we have a pretty special senior class, sending them out. Peyton McDaniel, an everything player for us, sending her out on top would be pretty special.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that's what February's for. Like you said, you start getting things turned around, playing your best hoops, heading into the tournament. That's every coach will tell you that's the goal. Don't peak too soon. And
how I haven't paid attention. How are the Highlanders doing? I see your shirt there. How
we had a 3-way tie for first. We're down at Winthrop tonight. So one of the teams we're tied with, it's High Point, Winthrop, and Radford, all sitting there with one loss. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes tonight.
How's Longwood doing? We played them earlier in the year at their place. They beat us.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, they were down. Well, our game went down to the buzzer on Saturday. We had a big lead. They battled back, and then we got a layup at the end to win 85-83. But they're first year coach. He's doing a really good job. Griff kind of set a pretty high standard there, before he went to go UVA. So they're good. They're good. Longwood's good.
And y'all are, let's be clear. You're set on top of the league because you're the one calling the games on the sideline, right?
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, come on. I figured as much. I'm glad someone recognizes that.
I figured as much.
I do what I can. I do what I can.
Yeah.
Well, brother, it's great to see you again, man, as always.
Always good.
And congratulations on all your success, man. It's going to continue. I know it is. And maybe we can get Coach Napier on here at some point when the dust settles and let people get to meet him. That'd be great. But anyway, I know the system's in place and you've got great support, but you're doing one hell of a job, brother. You really are. So.
Well, I appreciate it. It's easy to work hard. It's easy to kind of attack every day the way that we do because it's a phenomenal place. I can't say enough positives about being here. The people that I get to work with and for every single day. And the exciting thing is, how can we make it even better? And from, the investments that we've been able to make in the program, our president's vision to really reimagine the middle part of campus where I'm sitting right now and with new buildings and kind of this new master plan design. There's a lot of things that I think will be coming out here in the next 3, 6, 9 months to really project us forward even more and kind of hopefully increase that incline of our trajectory. Pretty special place and excited to keep it going.
That's awesome. That's great news. Well, we look forward to all that news. Maybe we'll have you on one of these Wednesdays and we'll get a little insight before the announcement comes. That'd be great.
I just can't tell you before we tell our board.
I know.
I don't want to get in trouble with that.
No. We got to take the board. The board always has to know first. That's right.
They always win, right?
All right, man. Well, stay safe and we'll see you next month.
I appreciate you, and I'll see you next month, man. Thank you. Good luck till then.
Take care. Thanks, man. There you go. That's Matt Roan, Director of Athletics at James Madison, just doing a great job. Good stuff. Yeah, I love you, Tater. TP, Tony Powell. He does, Prometheus. He does a great job. He handled that, all of it. And the question about Virginia Tech, as dignified as an answer as you're going to get. But they did pick up San Diego State. They have to go out west. But I like to hear that they were able to offset and actually make a little bit of money, the way they worked everything out. So that's good. And it's, because of his leadership and his guidance. But good stuff. Todd Grantham, by the way, just sent me this. UAB finished with the number 4 recruiting class in their league. You got South Florida, Memphis, North Texas, and UAB sitting right there. How about that? So they did a great job. And there's a statement here that says, could be a program-changing transfer class for the Blazers. And, we get Tater on, Pulaski County guy. I'm a Pulaski County guy. Todd Grantham, Pulaski County guy. It's great. Great. And they've been working hard on that UAB class. That's one of the reasons Todd went to Alabama Birmingham. He wanted to make his last stop a place he could help grow with a coach that he really respects and Coach Mortensen. And he wanted to be in control of the defense. He's got Coach Elmo helping him. I mean, we've had such great insight to what they're doing to put the class together. We got Coach Elmo breaking down Tech's recruits. It's great stuff, man. But congratulations to them. Todd, I know you're probably watching. Congratulations, man. Keep it going. Get all these guys signed and then get them coached up for the spring, and we'll be ready to go. And as Matt just talked about, James Madison had a terrific class. To his point, more talent coming in than left. So that's where JMU is headed, right? They're not gutted like they were when Coach Signetti took all those guys with him, and they were like, okay, now what? Bob Chassie did a great job. Well, Billy Napier has kind of uplifted that level as well. So it's great to see, man. It's great to see. And we're pulling like heck for him. And it's always great to have Matt on. Good stuff. And it's always great to have you wherever you might be tuning in. We appreciate it. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel wherever you might be. Thanks to all of our sponsors, Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, the NRV Super Bowl, Top Shelf Apparel, the Ready Set Fund, Professional Door Incorporated, National Bank, member FDIC, the attorney Ryan Pry in Radford, Little River Heating and Air, Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of the program, McClellan Chiropractic, and Family Fencing Studios. And thanks for putting up with me not feeling well. I tried to keep it as minimal as possible. Shelburne can't make Friday. Well, I hope we all can make Friday. Yeah, we're still planning on being at the Super Bowl on Friday. Hopefully you can come out and say hi and meet Morris. Yeah, Cougar Pride indeed, TP. Cougar Pride indeed. I'll be headed down the road shortly to head to Winthrop. But plan is to be here tomorrow doing the program. But check tonight late if you can stay up. If not, just watch the condensed version the next day. You can find it. I know it's tough. 9 o'clock. Those ACC games last a long, long time. A long, long time. Yeah, it really is, Prometheus. 2 weeks, and look what they've done at UAB. They hit the ground running. Some of those guys really look great, as Coach Elmo pointed out. You know, those guys look the part. So let's hope they can make strides. That is the best non-power league, I think, from top to bottom. Look at all the coaches that left that league to take over P4 programs just during this offseason. Now, we're not going to have that kind of turnaround coaching-wise again, but great stuff, no doubt about it. But everybody take care. Enjoy your Wednesday, and hopefully we'll start getting some clarification soon on how awful this storm's going to be this weekend. Apparently it's going to ravage the entire area, so I don't know how anything's going to happen. Let's hope people make smart choices and smart decisions. It feels like if Radford's going to play a doubleheader, it needs to be on Friday. I think that makes the most sense, but I don't know how you get people to agree to common sense things nowadays. There's going to be coaches who are going to argue time in between. Well, okay, but when you're spending an extra day or two somewhere where you don't want to be, then maybe it would have made more sense to make a concession here and there. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, everybody, take care. If you're so inclined, tune us in tonight on the Radford Radio Network. 6:30, the tip-off, 6 o'clock pregame, Radford and Winthrop. Be good. Thanks to all of our guests today. Thanks to Kion Brown, Damien Sordelett, David Teel, and Matt Roan. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Take care.